Hello, everybody. Hi, hi, hi. Oh my goodness. Okay, let me change this to live chat so I can see everybody. Hello, and welcome to my shame Q&A live stream. I am so excited to answer all of your questions about shame, about what I do as a shame oracle. And I have a couple of questions that you guys pre-submitted, but I'm super happy to take any and all questions that you think of while I'm talking on the live. So I would love, love, love if we could really utilize that chat. I am a much better live stream speaker person when I have stuff to bounce off of, when there's people commenting in the chat. So, first of all, let me know if you can see and hear me okay. That would be super helpful. Second of all, let me know if you have any questions. You might be wondering, some of you probably know who I am, some of you maybe don't. So just a little introduction. Hi, hello. My name is Megan. I, for a long time, for like 5 years, ran a business. It went under a couple of different names, but the goal of it was to help neurodivergent people get to know their brains and work with their brains, especially autistic and ADHD adults. Those were the main people that I helped and worked with. I myself am autistic and ADHD. I absolutely freaking loved that business. And also, it was time for something different. I really, really felt that my soul's work, the work I was meant to be doing in this world, get rid of these notifications. The work I was meant to be doing was around shame, because I mean, shame is a huge part of my story, and I've done so much work to like acknowledge it and heal it and move through it. And I just think shame is one of those things that really holds our society back in a lot of ways. I think shame is one of those things that people don't know how to talk about. And so no one talks about it. And I want to be the person who talks about it. So, hi, hello. My name is Megan. I use she, they pronouns. You can choose. Either one is literally fine. I do not care. And let's see, what else do you need to know about me? I am a mom. I have 3 little kids. I have a 6-year-old, and then I have 2.5-year-old twins. In our house, and it's so fun and also terrible. Like, my twins found a Sharpie over the weekend and colored all over my wall. Turns out sunscreen will get that off pretty good. Like, aerosol sunscreen will take it off. A magic eraser will not. So, just so you know. Uh, my 6-year-old is an artist, and he's learning to read, and that's really adorable and great. I'm also married to my best friend in the entire world. My husband is awesome, and he'll tell you that. He has very good like self-esteem, which is always very funny because I don't always, or didn't used to. And so I thought he was kidding for a long time when he would say like, "Oh yeah, I'm great." I'm like, "Oh, haha, yeah." Like, no one really thinks that about themselves. He does, which is great. He should. He is great, but it is very disconcerting. So, okay, I am going to go ahead and open up my questions. I got a couple of questions from you all on Instagram. So let me grab those. Okay. Someone says, I really love myself, but I have deep shame about presenting that person to the rest of the world. I'm sensitive and afraid of rejection. So it sounds like this person is like, actually, who I am is pretty great, but I don't think the world is going to agree with me. And it sounds like I have deep shame about presenting that person to the rest of the world. So I wonder if you actually don't have shame about being that person in the world. It sounds like you have shame about hiding that person. So, like, let me explain. If you had shame about presenting that person to the world, it would kind of be like, yeah, this is me. This is who I am. Oh, nobody likes it. Oh, no. Okay. But you can't help it. You can't help but be yourself. A lot of very sensitive people are like this, where like, I would love to be like, to be able to fit in, but I just don't know how. But this sounds more like you're like, I love myself, but I can't show the world that part of me. And there's maybe some shame where it's like, I feel ashamed of hiding who I am. So I'm not sure exactly which way yours goes, commenter, but regardless, either way, wow, so relatable. So relatable. You are not alone at all. So many of us do kind of like ourselves. There's a nugget, there's an inner child that says, of course I'm right. I couldn't be wrong. Hopefully there's a part of you that feels that way. And if there's not, that's okay too. Just, we all experience our shame differently. Um, but how do we express that person that we like so much to the world when we've got fear of rejection and we're highly sensitive and all of this stuff? I think what I do or what I used to do and what I honestly still do sometimes is like microdose my like authenticity. So instead of like this is me, this is all of me and you either love me or hate me and take me or leave me, all this stuff. I think that is a lot of pressure both for you and for the people receiving you. Like that's a lot. So instead I will like microdose little bits and pieces of who I am as a person. So like I think I'm funny. I think I'm a pretty funny person, although I'm not nearly as funny as my father who can tell a joke and like not laugh at his own joke. I always laugh at my own jokes. I think I'm funny. But he knows to not laugh at his own joke makes the joke funnier and I'm just completely incapable. Regardless, I think I'm funny. But instead of like going out into the world like I'm going to be a stand-up comedian, instead of going all in on my authenticity, I will like incorporate humor into my Instagram posts or, make a silly joke in some of my email blasts and stuff like that or on my Substack. So I think there are little ways to be yourself that feel a little safer, where the rejection, if it comes, will be smaller. If you think you're funny and you try to become a stand-up comic and it doesn't pan out, well, that's like a whole career that you feel like you've lost. And that can be really hard compared to if you make a joke in an email, you won't even know if people laugh or not. So you can't even be rejected. It's fine. um, so yeah, that's what I would recommend for you is like find little ways to offer people little samples of who you are. And the people who are enthusiastic about those samples are good people to trust with a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more of who you are, you know? So that is what I would recommend. I think liking yourself but not being yourself is a really brutal form of self-betrayal that I'm not blaming you for, by the way. Our society encourages this. They encourage us to betray ourselves, abandon ourselves, and like be whatever capitalism needs. This is a very anti-capitalist space, by the way. So if you're not down with that, you probably won't be down with much of my content. So that's okay. I think that self-abandonment and self-betrayal can feel really crappy, and it just makes you feel like, what's the point in doing anything or being anyone? Because it's like, you're not being yourself anyway, so who cares? And that's a little all or nothing, black or white thinking, right? We can be ourselves in small ways, and that does matter, you know? So that is what I would recommend, friend. I would recommend being yourself in little ways and, leaning into that sensitivity. It's not bad to be sensitive. I have learned to really love being sensitive. I think it's maybe not a superpower. Sometimes it sucks, and sometimes it's really helpful. And whether it's helpful or not, it's who I am. And I'm going to like who I am because there's only one. I only get one life. I don't get to be anybody else. I only get to be me. And so I might as well damn well enjoy it, you know? So that's my vibe on that. All right, we have another question. Somebody says, "Is it possible to work with you without sharing specific details on shame?" I love this question because shame is one of those emotions where you want to hide. You want to hide the thing that happened or the thing you did or the way you felt or all of it. It feels shameful to admit it. And so yes, the short answer is yes. Absolutely you can work with me even if you're like I cannot retell the story of my trauma again. I cannot do it. I will not do it. So fair. I totally get that. Um there are absolutely ways to work around this. So first of all, we could do what I do a lot of in my own healing journey, which is we deal with the way the shame makes you feel and act. So instead of like for a lot of us anyway, it kind of goes trauma leads to shame, leads to problematic behavior, right? Or behavior that's not super helpful. Okay. Um we don't have to go back to the trauma in order to work on these things. We need to acknowledge that the trauma is there, but I don't need you to relive it with me. And hell, I don't even necessarily need you to tell me why you feel shame or a lot of the details around that shame. I just need to know there's some part of your life that was really hard or felt really bad. And now you feel a lot of shame about that or about how you're coping. Sometimes we feel shame in this direction where it's like the way we're behaving feels shameful. Um, I just need to know which direction the shame is pointed. Do you feel shame for what happened in your past, or do you feel shame that's projected forward into what you're doing right now? Um, and then there are so many ways we can talk about shame. I love using tarot and oracle cards to talk about shame because I think metaphor and symbolism are really powerful ways to talk about what happened to us and how we feel about it. Um, but we can also talk really practically about some of the behaviors that you're, partaking in that are not helping you and what we can do about those. I don't need to know what happened to you. I don't even need to know that much about your shame in order to help with that. I think I want you to share as much as you are comfortable sharing. And I actually I'm gonna go back and edit this, edit the description because I didn't put this in the description because I'm silly. I actually have a whole program coming up called Black Sheep Healing Collective, from chronically misunderstood to heard and celebrated. And literally, the entire point of this program is how to tell your story in a way that works for you, how to be both authentic and safe, how to talk to your friends about how you feel without getting those like sad pity eyes. Okay. So that's literally what the program is about. If you are interested in the program, like I said, I will add the link to the description, but you should also come to the event I'm hosting this Wednesday, April 1st at 1 p.m. Eastern. It's called Shame is Not the Bad Guy. This is kind of an introduction to my work. It's kind of the basics, right? What you need to know in order to do further work with me, I think. So highly recommend coming to that. And then if you are interested in telling your story in a way that feels less triggering, in a way that's less re-traumatizing, highly recommend Black Sheep Healing Collective. It's going to be amazing. It's 8 weeks long. You're going to get a chance to share your story in whatever format you want. That could be a painting, it could be talking, it could be a dance piece, it could be literally anything that you want. And I'm really excited for it. I'm really, really excited for it. We already have somebody signed up, and it's going to be a really great cohort of people. So, highly recommend checking that out. Like I said, I will add that to the description right after this live. What else? What else? Yeah, so those are the two questions that I had. Those are the two very brave souls who submitted their questions about shame. Thank you. Thank you so much. If you're watching, I appreciate you eternally. It is so nice when people are able to be brave enough and say, like, this is what I need to know about shame of all things. Like, shame is so personal and so scary to talk about. And these two very brave souls submitted questions, and I'm very happy and thankful. So that is it for our Q&A this time around. If you have questions that did not get answered, or if you didn't realize I was doing a Q&A until you saw this and you're like, well, now I have questions, go ahead to the comments, leave your question. Or if you don't necessarily want your question to be public, you can email me. My email is hello, HELLO, at megangriffith.com. So I'll edit the description and add that as well. But I think that's it. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you for watching the replay. If you're watching the replay, let me know what your favorite part of this live stream was in the comments, and I will see you all next week. I'm planning on doing these live streams every single Monday at noon Eastern, by the way. So if you just want to put that in your calendar, noon Eastern, put me on while you're eating lunch and hop in the comments in the chat and let me know what's up with you. That would be super fun. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week.